Hello and welcome, my dear students, to my channel Mathematics Made Easy. This is Ms. Ruchika welcoming you to another video, especially for my grade 11 advanced math students. In today's session from the EOT exam coverage, we are going to be covering Learning Objective 2, and in this video, we are going to be covering questions 44 to 52 from page 231 of your math book. So let's get started. Okay, so before we begin solving questions 44 to 52, let me give you the key concept that will help you to solve exponential equations in one variable and solve all these questions very easily. So the key concept, you may note this down in your notebook if you think you are going to forget. It is the equation y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x. This is called an exponential function equation. Now, what basically you have to do in your exam when a question comes on this kind of a function is that you will start with this equation y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x, and in the question you will be given 2 points. So let me say the first point is x1 y1 and the second point is x2 y2. Okay, so these values will be given to you, so you already know what is x1, what is x2, what is y1, what is y2. So you are going to begin with the starting equation, the one which I already gave you, and put one by one these values of the points given. So what will you get? You will get to another different equation. So if you use the first point, it's going to be y1 equal to a multiplied with b to the power x1. If you use the second point, it's going to be y2 equal to a multiplied with b to the power x2. Wonderful. Now, one of the points generally in these kind of questions will be the one where the x coordinate is given 0. And that will be given to you intentionally because they want you to get the value of the variables a and b. Because this kind of an equation, the one that we started the question with, can be solved, can be written only if we know the value of the two variables a and b, and that is what you will be doing in this kind of question. So when you put x1 as 0, that is you replace this value, then your y1 will be a to the power b0, or y1 will be the value of a. So once you get your value of a, you will plug it in the second equation and get your value of b. And once you get both the values a and b, put them back in the original equation y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x, and give your final answer. So this is your key concept. This is the methodology, the logic behind solving questions 44 to 52 on page 231. So let's proceed with question 44 and now see how we solve it using this key concept. Please learn it, please remember it, and also the equation so that you can solve all these questions without making any errors. Okay, so let's now solve questions 44 to 46 using the concept I just explained to you. So we will begin with the basic exponential function equation, which is y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x. Let's name this equation number 1. Now we are going to use each of these points. So let the first point be x1 y1, second point be x2 y2. So I will put the value of x1 y1 first. So this will become y1 equal to a times b times x1, and then y2 is equal to a times b times x2. Let's plug in the numbers. How much is y1? 3. How much is x1? 0. So any exponent with the base, any base raised to the power 0 is 1. So this gives you 3 is equal to a. So we got the value of a from here. Let's plug in now y2, x2. So y2 is 375. x2 is 3. So we raise it to the power 3. And now we already have the value of a. So we can divide 375 by 3 to get our b cube. So how much is b cube? It is equal to 125. So take the cube root of 125. So b is going to be 5. So now that we've got our a and b, we are ready to plug them, this one and this one, back into the first equation, and that will give you your answer. So the final answer for this question is y equal to a times b times x. Now, some of you girls will do the mistake, you will multiply 3 with 5. That is not at all possible. Be careful, don't do this mistake in your exam because these are unlike terms. See, you cannot multiply 3 with 5 because there is a power x raised to that 5. So it's not going to be multiplied. This is going to be your last and final answer. You've given the equation and that is what the question was asking. So let's do one more just to make you more confident. So this is x1 y1 x2 y2. Now I'm taking it in this order. Even if you interchange, it won't create any difference. Similarly here x1 y1 x2 y2. Let's follow exactly the same method. So I will begin with the equation for the exponential function, mark it as 1 and then plug in one by one x1 y1 to get the second equation. So this is going to be minus 1 equal to a times b to the power 0. So b to the power 0 is 1, so your a is minus 1. Let's do similarly for the second question. So y2 is going to be a multiplied with b to the power x2. Let's substitute. So this is minus 64 equal to a times b times 6. Now a value we already know, which is minus 1. So minus 64 is minus 1, b to the power 6. Now see, here the base has power 6. That means we have to convert this 64 also with the same power. Also both sides there is negative, so I can make it positive and I can write the 64 as 2 to the power 6. You can check from your calculator. If you multiply 2 6 times, you will get 64. So now that both of the powers are same, so we can say the base is also same. So that completes our question. We get both values of a and b. So the final answer for this question is going to be, going back to this equation, the one which we started the question with. So y equal to a times b to the power x. That's your final answer. Now I hope you've understood how to do these kind of questions. We've already solved 2 of them together, so I would urge you to try 46 yourself. And when you do it, the correct answer for this question, the value of a will come out to be 7, the value of b will come out to be 1 by 2, and therefore your answer y equal to a to the power bx would come out to be y equal to 7 times 1 by 2 x. Comment in the chat below, did you get this correct answer yourself? And let's now see the correct answers, all final answers for these kind of questions. Okay, so let's solve some more questions just to give that extra practice to all of you giving your exam. So y equal to ab to the power x. This is the basic equation that we begin with. Let's plug in the first point. This is my x1 y1. This is my x2 y2. So my y1 and x1 are given to you. Because x1 is 0, directly you will get the value 1 by 2 equal to a to the power 0. So here your value of a is the fraction 1 by 2. Let's proceed and find also the value of b now. So we are going to use x2 y2 here. So let's plug in. So it's going to be 40.5 equal to a multiplied with b to the power 2. Now value of a you already know from here. So let's plug in. And because it's a fraction this time, we are going to use the method of cross multiplication to move this 2 here, multiply. So 40.5 multiplied with 2. Please check quickly in your calculator and tell me what do you get here. Okay, so you're right, it's 81. So b square is 81. So we need to write 81 as a perfect square, and that is for the number 9. So that gives us the value of b as 9. So this is where we are done. We have the value of a and b both with us. So let's go back to the basic equation and let's give our final answer. So the final answer is y equal to 1 by 2. That's value of a multiplied with b to the power x. So this is your final answer. In a similar way, I would urge you to solve question 48. It's very, very simple. You will just follow the same steps. And let us do one more question, that is 49 here, just to give you that extra confidence and extra practice. So y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x. Again, as you see, we are going to be following the same steps. Let's use the first point x1 y1. So this is minus 6 equal to a multiplied with b to the power 0. So your value of a here is negative this time, minus 6. Let's use the second point. So I put y2 equal to a times b to the power x2. y2 is a big number, also negative, and then a is also negative. B we don't know, we have to find, and x2 this time is also negative. So let's see how we simplify this thing. The first thing I do is to make the negatives and negatives positive, and then to remove the 6, for which we divide both sides with 6. Now this is an exponent with negative power. So just to make it positive, what I'll do after cancelling the 6 is write it in a reciprocal form to make it positive. Now let's divide this. Use your calculator one more time. So this is 1536 divided by 6. So that will come out to be 256. Now if you again cross multiply, 256 is 1 over b to the power 4. So this is gonna give you b to the power 4 is 1 over 256. And as you know, 1256 can be written in the form 1 over 4 to the power 4. That means if you multiply 4 times with itself, that is 4 multiplied with 4 multiplied with 4 multiplied with 4, you get 256. So therefore your b is 1 over 4. That completes the question. We have a and b with us. So we'll again go back to the equation and give our final answer. So y is going to be minus 6 times by 4 to the power x. So that's your final answer. So I hope now you're confident in solving these kind of questions. So let's see the final answers for the remaining questions. So now I'm providing you with the formal answer key for questions 44 and 45. This is exactly the same way that I have taught you in this video how to solve these kind of questions. So all the questions which are mentioned on page 231, questions 44 to 52 are going to be solved using the same method. So now we'll proceed and we'll check all your answers one by one. So this is how you're going to solve question 46. I've provided here the final answers with all the detailed steps. And this part of the slide gives you the answer key for question 47. Remember to learn the steps that we are following and also to learn and memorize the equation y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x. As you see, every time we are using this equation and the 2 points to get our answer. On this slide, you see the answer key for question 48. Let's see the answer key for remaining questions also. So as we understood, we are going to be following the same method and using the same equation y equal to a multiplied with b to the power x of an exponential function to solve question 49. Here the 2 points x1, y1, x2, y2 are given to you, and when you solve it, the value of a comes out to be minus 6 and the value of b comes out to be 1 by 4. So you can check your answer from this answer key. Here on the screen, I have provided for you the step-by-step working of your question number 50. Please do check your answers and let me know in the comment section how many of you got the correct answer. This slide shows you the answer key for question 51. This is how you're going to write each and every step and show your working if this kind of a question comes for free response or the paper-based exam. This slide shows you the answer key for question 52. I hope all of you got the correct answers. So that brings us to the end of today's video where we looked at questions 44 to 52 on page 231 and completed our learning objective 2 to solve exponential equations in one variables. I hope you found the video useful, and if you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Also press the bell icon so that you receive the notification of my upcoming math videos. The next video is going to be on learning objective 3, so make sure you are glued to the channel, and all the very best for your coming exam.